You may not know this about me, but I actually used to be a huge nerd. Growing up, I didn't know any better. I didn't know what it meant to be cool. Sure, I got good grades, but I also wore like weird plaid clothing that never really matched, and I had huge, thick-ass glasses that covered half my face. So basically, I was just a brown Steve Urkel. But everything changed in the summer of 2000. That year, I was turning 16 years old, and I was finally getting my driver's license. Now, this is a big deal for me because I was one of the youngest people in my class. So all of my friends had already got their license and were already driving. So I was desperately craving that same independence. Now, I grew up in Indiana, and so we did driver's ed a little bit differently. Instead of doing it one-on-one with an instructor, we actually did it in groups. So it was me, my instructor, and two very, very cute girls from my high school, Jessica and Callie. Ooh la la. Now I have some extra motivation because not only do I want my license, I don't want to embarrass myself in front of two hotties. So as the weeks go by, I'm killing driver's ed. I'm stopping at every single light. I'm using my turn signal properly. I feel like an expert already because for years, I watched and learned from the mistakes of my Asian father. But then we get to week 4, which is parallel parking. Now, the way my instructor set it up is we were in downtown Lafayette, and the street was empty, but there was still one car parked on that street. And we just had to pretend that there were other cars parked there. No big deal, right? Like, this is gonna be easy, piece of cake. I'm already doing really well in driver's ed. So as I'm driving, the instructor is giving me instructions on what to do. Pull up about 1 car length ahead of the parking spot. Put the car in reverse and turn the wheel. Line up your rear view mirror with the corner of the car. Once you get close enough to the curve, turn the wheel the other direction and straighten out the car so it matches the curb. Now here's the tricky part. He then tells me that I need to back up and stop at least about a foot away before I get to the next car. But back then, there were no backup cameras. So in order to do this, I had to turn around and actually look out the back window and judge the distance. But remember who's in the back seat. Jessica and Callie. Ooh, baby. So naturally, I get a little distracted. It's the middle of summertime. It's 90 degrees out, hot, humid. They're both wearing tank tops, and I'm a horny little 16-year-old teenager. And all of a sudden, I hear boom. And my heart just dropped. Oh, shit. I just hit a car. I'm screwed. I'm never getting my license now. My jaw just dropped. My palms are sweaty. My stomach is turning. How do I explain this to my parents? Like, do I have to take driver's ed again? Oh my God, my parents. My mom is gonna have to drive me around for the rest of my life. I'm never gonna get a date now. Everyone is in shock, everyone. My instructor, he turns to me and he goes, dude, did you just hit a car? I think so. Shit. Even Callie, who's in the back seat, she goes, ooh, you're in trouble. And just like that, this girl who I had a crush on, who looks like this hot, sexy Topanga from Boy Meets World, turned into Michelle Tanner from Full House. My instructor then tells us, okay, everyone get out of the car. And so we do, put the car in park, and we walk back to the car behind us, and we see that there's no damage to the other car. Only the bumpers are just touching each other. My instructor then looks around and realizes there are no witnesses. So he then tells us, okay, everyone get back in the car. And so we do. We put our seatbelts on. He then turns to me and says, Setu, start the car and drive off. Are you serious? Are you telling me to do a hit and run? I can't go to jail. Shut the fuck up and let's go. So I put the car in drive and I take off. Driving down the street, I take a left on First Street, I take a right on Main Street. My mind is racing. I feel like I'm in Grand Theft Auto, but I'm only going 30 miles per hour. After about 10 minutes of driving and avoiding all cops, we finally pull into the parking lot of a Meijer grocery store. Put the car in park, and my instructor tells us to get out of the car again. And so we do, and walk back to the back of the car. Now, on the rear view bumper, there's a big orange sticker, and in black lettering it says student driver. But right in between the words student and driver, there's actually a scratch mark about this big. So now I'm thinking, oh, great, now there's evidence. My instructor then hands me a black Sharpie pen and tells me to go ahead and just sign my name. In that moment, instead of feeling embarrassed, I felt this huge sigh of relief. Whew, I can finally breathe again. And as I'm signing my name, I have the biggest smile on my face because I know I'm getting my driver's license. I have the coolest instructor in the world. I learned an important lesson that day. I learned that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you own up to it. I also learned it's okay to break the law as long as you can get away with it. Now, I bet you're wondering, well, what happened to Jessica and Callie? Well, that following October, I took Jessica, not Callie, to the Fall Sunshine Dance. And I drove her. And we had a very good time. To this day, that instructor is the best wingman I ever had. Thank you.